Hello, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the first of 3 MTech Europe conferences hosted by the City of Belfast. While this year's event is virtual, you can be sure that we will be rolling out the red carpet for our delegates in 2022 and 2023. It's unfortunate that you can't physically be with us today in the stunning setting of Titanic Belfast due to COVID restrictions, but the set has been built to give you a glimpse of what our great city has to offer. Teaming up with the prestigious MIT Technology Review gives us an important opportunity to renew and further develop our friendship and connections with sister city Boston. And MTech Europe's theme of engaging a brighter future could not be more timely. A global pandemic demands a global response. We really are all in this together. In this time of crisis, we have relied upon our healthcare sector more than ever. We hold so much respect for our medics, nurses, hospital staff, and vaccination center heroes, and for those on the cutting edge of health tech. So it's a great honor for us to be joined later this morning by husband and wife team, Dr. Ugur Sahin and Dr. Ozem Tureki, founders of BioNTech, who made the breakthrough of the messenger RNA technology, which gave us the first effective vaccine against COVID-19. We owe them a great debt of gratitude. Of course, when the COVID crisis passes, other global challenges will demand our full attention once again. In particular, the race to avert a climate disaster. So I applaud the fact that a full day of this MTech Europe gathering will be devoted to considering green tech. We will hear from formidable green tech leaders Enric Asuncion, CEO of Wallbox Barcelona, set to launch on the stock exchange later this year with a valuation of $1.5 billion. Henrietta Myrn, CEO of Carbon Culture Finland, working to remove carbon from the atmosphere, and my fellow mayor Pekka Timonen of Lahti, Finland, currently European Green Capital. While I'm delighted to cede the floor to these impressive innovators, I am also very proud that we're providing a platform of some world-leading tech innovators of our own. Most notably, Professor Moira O'Neill of Queen's University Belfast, a global authority on artificial intelligence, and David Surplus of B9 Energy, whose business is certainly a force for good, turning water into hydrogen fuel. Over the past 15 years, Belfast has seen incredible transformation. We are now recognized as the fastest growing knowledge economy in Europe, and we're becoming Innovation City Belfast. We've also transformed our tourism proposition, and hopefully international visitors will once again be able to enjoy our Cadé culture in great numbers. But the next change we are determined to lead is the shift towards a greener, more inclusive, and more resilient economy. In Belfast, our approach is informed by the words of former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who said, "There is no plan B because we do not have a planet B." In closing, I want to thank all of those who have made it possible for Belfast to host MTech Europe. In doing so, we're setting our stall as a progressive, pioneering city, building prosperity for all on the foundations of our hard-won peace. I pay tribute to those sponsors who made MTech Europe possible in Belfast, especially Belfast City Council and Invest Northern Ireland. And I commend our partners, Conla McCann and the Ashleen Events team, on their assured vision for the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, organisers, MIT Technology Review, and conference attendees from all around the globe. My goodness, what a lineup to follow. Very daunted by the speakers that we've had so far this morning, and I'm really looking forward to reviewing the next two days. But I guess for the talk of my speech this morning, I'd like to begin with a simple question. What is so important about digital innovation? The answer may seem self-evident, but I think it's worth taking a moment to consider. Why are cities, and entire countries for that matter, stating so much importance on digital innovation as a basis for future success? Back in 2011, the venture capitalist Mark Andreessen published a now famous essay in the Wall Street Journal entitled "Why Software is Eating the World." In it, Anderson made the point that all of the key technologies necessary to transform industry were pretty much already in place. That is, the internet, cloud computing, and mobile phones were all already mature enough that they would be catalysts for the digitalization of the entire economy. He saw how software would dominate sectors such as music, advertising, retail, financial services, publishing, health, and even the most traditional of all manufacturing sectors, the car industry. They would eventually fall to software, and remember this was 10 years ago, well before 5G and IoT and the current success in AI and technologies such as GPT-3 and DeepMind's AlphaGo. Jump ahead a decade, and pretty much everything Andresen outlined has come to pass. For example, in the current edition of IEEE's Spectrum, a car industry expert notes, once software was a part of the car, now software determines the value of a car. And as a recent purchaser of a Tesla and other cars are available, experts estimate that by 2030, software will account for 50% of the total cost of our family car. Car companies are becoming predominantly software companies. The power of digital is, of course, partially driven by Moore's law, where processing costs half every 18 months. But it is also the startling ability to start small, to iterate, to scale, and to reproduce at marginal cost, all of which make it a fantastic engine for innovation, disruption, and transformation. And no aspect of the economy is being left untouched, whether it's agriculture, retail, hospitality, right through to financial services and software development itself. Beyond the economy, it is also transforming how we live our lives, how our cities are planned and managed, and it is increasingly a powerful tool for addressing head-on many of the big, wicked societal challenges such as climate change in our post-pandemic world. There's a classic comment from the writer William Gibson, where he was asked by The Economist why all of his science fiction predictions hadn't come to pass. He disagreed. He said, "The future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. As planners, policymakers, as business people and investors, we don't have the luxury of choosing to ignore digital innovation. It may not have affected your part of the world just yet, but sooner or later, it will come knocking on your door." So what do we need to do about it? That was the question before me when I was asked, just over a year ago by Belfast City Council, to take up the role of the city's first Digital Innovation Commissioner. The Council and its partners, through the Belfast Region City Deal, had already done much of the really important work in establishing a Smart Belfast programme, which aims to harness digital innovation in addressing wicked urban challenges. And the Council has also come together with a number of like-minded institutions, including Queen's University, Ulster University, Belfast Harbour, Catalyst, and Invest in I to provide a new level of ambition for digital innovation for our city. The aim of digital innovation within Innovation City Belfast is to harness the unique strengths of our city, which are both deep and rich, and with some very carefully targeted investments, seek to foster a place where you can grasp the opportunity represented by digital innovation to grow key sectors of our economy. And at the same time, Innovation City is about addressing the very real challenges that disruption can create and is creating today, not least of which is the tendency for radical change to exclude sections of the population. And I will mention inclusive innovation in a moment. We also see digital innovation as a powerful means to address many of the wicked societal challenges that we face over the coming decade. It already has a crucial role to play in decarbonisation and climate adaptation. And as we've already seen this morning, It is a key asset in our response to COVID and also in tackling our long-term health challenges, particularly as a population of Western countries become a predominantly older population. The Belfast region is certainly well placed to take forward such an ambition. In the last decade, we have seen a 300% increase in investment in R&D by our local businesses. 26% of all job openings in 2019 were in digital technology, the highest in the UK. Prior to COVID, Belfast had been identified as one of the world's top 10 digital economies of the future, the only UK city other than London. And even through the pandemic, Belfast and Northern Ireland has shown its resilience. Coming out of COVID, the trend continues. The tech recruitment already back at 90% of pre-pandemic levels. We recently have seen a swathe of job announcements in this sector. We've got world-class strengths in fintech, in cybersecurity, in life and health sciences, and software engineering. So if there is anywhere in the world that you would want to be investing in innovation right now, it is most definitely Belfast and Northern Ireland. The awareness of the sheer potential of this place is very exciting. We are planning for the longer term to maximise this potential. We are putting down deep foundations for innovation that will allow our region to grow and pivot as new technologies and new opportunities emerge. Through the Belfast Region City deal, we are currently finalising over 200 million investment in 5 new centres of excellence in our 2 local universities. Building in these institutions' recognised strengths, the new centres will support bleeding-edge research in AI, health technologies, advanced manufacture, and creative media. We are fostering a highly collaborative urban environment where such research translates easily into the wider world. A new 2,000-acre innovation district will support innovation clusters around these research centres, with particular focus in fin and regtech, health tech, and green tech. Our smart district will seek to radically change in the design and delivery of city services by offering the ideal environment for experimentation and deployment of the latest digital services. And we also focus on building the infrastructure to support those investments. We are investing over 40 million in connectivity and data sharing. Belfast is already one of the best connected cities in the world. We want to double down on this by working with industry to make us a recognised home for ubiquitous, high-speed, accessible, wireless connectivity, and a place where data is recognised as a key resource for innovation. We're also designing a series of new multi-million-pound challenge funds that seek to invest in emerging tech companies with high growth potential. We're also planning to use these funds to encourage innovation collaboration between industry, academia, and government on our urban challenges, whilst at the same time supporting sector growth. With these and other investments in place, I truly believe we are creating something unique in this city, a place that is a natural home for digital innovation, where industry, government, and academia are mutually supporting allies with a shared ambition. This will be a city not only resilient to the uncertainty and disruption of the coming decade, but will actually have the depth and agility to seek and seize the many opportunities transforming our global economy. Finally, I want to say something about the citizen at the heart of this radical change. A recent study suggests that 60,000 jobs are at risk from automation in Northern Ireland, with a further 58% of all jobs at risk at some substantial change over the medium term. Now, we might dispute the exact numbers, and there is a counter-argument that automation will create many new and different jobs in the economy. That may well be true, but either way, we are entering one of the most disruptive and bewildering periods for our workforce in more than a generation. Innovation City Belfast would argue that we need to think very carefully about how we prepare for such disruption. As a society, we have to consider whether our education and training system is responsive and flexible enough in an environment in which sectors are likely to grow and disappear across the span of a single decade. What are the core skills that our children need to have to engage predictively in such an environment? And perhaps we need to question that training people predominantly for software is not the only answer to this conundrum. Software is indeed eating itself, and programmers will be one of those at-risk groups from automation in the coming decades. We have been working with industry and the Northern Ireland Government to think about what skills challenges mean for Belfast and Northern Ireland. And as we are seeking to invest substantial funding towards it through the Belfast Region City Deal programmes. But beyond the skills agenda, we also need to work with the citizen on the wider implications of digital innovation and its implications for privacy, personal agency, and perhaps democracy itself. This needs to sit at the top of the public sector policy agenda. The next decade is going to be unlike anything that has gone before. In the face of major societal challenges, we have the power and opportunity to harness digital innovation to serve our needs. It's an exciting time. Let's do this. Thank you.